Hello everyone, this is Taryn with Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and I am back on day 6 of By the Will for God's Son of Man devotional. Now, I thought about posting this video and then I was back and forth about posting it. It has a lot of mistakes in it, but I decided to post it anyway just to show you how I overcome those mistakes and what I do to change it up and fix them. And sometimes they involve multiple fixes. So first off, I showed you some 49 and Market material that I'm going to be using alongside of what I have going on with By the Will for God's ephemera. So I had a set that matched perfectly with this kit, so I decided to use that. I sprayed some water on that Stormy Sky Distress Oxide background. I love the color. It matches perfectly with what I have, but it's almost too perfect in the matching. It's too dark, so I'm trying to think about how I can layer it and make sure that that envelope that I have from 49 and Market really stands out. So I decided to look at some of these Tim Holtz papers and thinking about how I can make that kind of pop off the page a little bit more again. And so I grabbed this one that is like a ledger paper in this deep blue handwriting. And so I'm just cutting off a little bit to kind of separate it, but not take over the whole page. I definitely still want to see that Stormy Sky background. And I decided to add a decal edge with this trimmer as well. So now I'm working on this. I have a couple different pieces of ephemera from By the Will for God. These are stickers. This envelope came from, I believe, the regular sticker kit that comes with the kit. I'm not positive though, but they all came with they're either with the kit or the add-ons. But anyways, I have this little envelope and I also have that little blue sticker. I end up not using that, but the whole time I'm thinking I'm going to use it. I loved the idea of an all blue page, but it wasn't coming together very well. So now I was trying to kind of knock back that blue. I still liked the tone of the Stormy Sky blue, but I'm still trying to knock it back a little bit so the envelope and my whole cluster kind of stands out. So I use some white gesso on top of this page, and it looks a little scary at the beginning, but then once you dry it, it turns a great color. I really like this. I like the texture that it gives and everything. So this was going to be, great and good to go. But I decided to try to use this plaid stamp. Now, I'm really glad I stamped it on a piece of paper first. Realized that I was going to get those edges if I didn't wipe them off. So you'll see me wipe them off right here. I like the color of this. So this is chipped sapphire, and I think it works wonderfully with this. However, my stamping just isn't that good when it comes to stamping in my Bible. So you'll see me stamp off. I'm going to do a 2nd generation stamp, kind of place it down. I stamped on my ledger paper, which I didn't want to do, and one part's a little bit darker than the rest. And then I stamp down here in the bottom left-hand corner, and it smudges a little bit. And my idea for this was so good. It just didn't come together. So now I'm looking at my placement, seeing if I can make it work, but my placement isn't far enough in the bottom left-hand corner for that other plaid area. So I take the back side of the ledger paper, actually, from Tim Holtz, and I'm working with that, trying to see how that works, because it's like the perfect color with the roses. It's the same deep navy color. So I'm trying to see if I can make a cluster kind of work, but it ends up looking too vertical and I'm just not loving it. So I'm back and forth trying to figure stuff out. I thought maybe if I added a butterfly, it might help. So I have a butterfly stamp from By the Will for God, but I had one already colored in and everything from 49 and Market, so I decided to use that one. This is some paper that I had in my stash. I was thinking about using it, but ended up not. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to cover this up. I decided to take out that pack from 49 and Market again. It is called Serenity Remnants. It is this beautiful blues and everything, antique-y feel. And I take out the bigger pieces like the huge papers and try to make one of these work, But this one, I mean, I try to go with it, but it ends up being too dark. It just kind of looks a little bit weird with the stormy sky in the background. So I end up deciding against this, but I'm trying to go with it right now, roughing it up, and I'm going to distress it with some frayed burlap as well. And I will just kind of look at and see what the cluster looks like on top of this. It wasn't doing it for me. So I end up doing my go-to fix because it never fails me, and I just grab some ledger paper. Now you'll see it change a little here. I ended up having to just step away from the page for a little bit. That's really, really hard for me to do. I hate stepping away from a page. I need to fix my problems when I have them, but I had to drive my daughter to an art class, and so I had to step away, and I decided to come back and just do my go-to fix, which is ledger paper. I love ledger paper. It makes a great background. If you ever have an opportunity to grab a ledger book, grab one, even if it's not written in. I think they make fabulous backgrounds. You can also grab some from a house of books. I know that they sell them a la carte. And so now I'm just gonna put on some glue and paste this page down, and it's going to make a fabulous background. So again, I'm sorry that the lighting isn't the greatest in this section of the video, but I still thought it was important to share this with you. Also, if you put ledger paper down, if you make a little hole with your glue, that ledger paper covers it right up. So it is good for that as well. So anyways, now I'm working on this cluster again. I decided to do some things vertically and the envelope horizontally. I also had this picture of florals in my stash. I believe this is from a Maggie Holmes scrapbook paper, like a 12 by 12, I believe it is. And I've had it in my stash for forever. So I decided it looked really nice with all the things I had going on. I also have a pile of postage stamps, and there was this beautiful blue Ecuadorian stamp. So I decided to use that as well. This is from a house of books. They often send some postage stamps in their kits. And so that was a fun little addition. I liked how it was antiqued and aged, and I left some of that envelope on there as well. So unfortunately, I had already glued down and stapled that mini cluster on the envelope, so I did have to rip that out. And this is where I decided to not use that little mini ephemera piece from By the Well Forgot. It was a sticker that I made my own ephemera, but it was just too much with the 4 pieces. Here I am trying to figure out where I could put that 4th piece, and so I'm trying it in different places around the page, but ultimately I just decide on that to from sender label and also this stamp in the little envelope. So now I'm going to come to this to from label, and I'm going to spell out serve with the mini tile alphas because I am talking about Mark 10:45, which says, "For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." So I had plans to use these mini tile alphas. However, once I spelled out serve, I realized that the cluster wasn't really working. I had put it too far to the right. And so I decided to add to serve. That obviously didn't work, so I took off that. And then I tried to move the whole name or whole word serve to the left-hand side a little bit more, but then the roses were covering that up as well. Once I put this cluster together, you'll see here that it's a little bit tricky to find out the placement of everything once I have this all down. And so instead, I take my Dymo label maker eventually and cover up that serve with a Dymo label maker serve. I liked how it brought in some more black because we have that dark grayish black in the photo above, and so that Dymo label maker will help bring that all together. But first I'm working on this cluster and making sure I have everything laid down exactly how I want it. I am going to rough up the edges of this photo card. Now I only roughed it up in the corners that are going to be poking out because I don't want any bumps under the papers in the layers that I already have. So I'm gluing those down, making sure I have the placement right. I always like working on my clusters outside of the page first. Here is that Dymo label maker or Dymo label that I made. So I'm just going to paste that down. It is already sticky and it matches perfectly over the little mini tile alphas, so it works wonderfully. This is that butterfly that I'm going to bring back into the page. I'm going to just glue the center down, and then I'm actually taking my sewing machine and sewing the center body of that butterfly down and leaving some tails of thread. That way it has a little something extra, a different kind of texture on there as well. So now I am adding a little bit of lace and fabric that I had from my House of Books kit this month, and I'm just looking at where I want to place this. This is me just, this is how I work really in my Bible. It's a lot of trial and error. A lot of times I edit that out because I don't think that people want to wait and see all my mistakes and where I want to put things. Oh no, I don't want to put it there. And trying different things. But this is real life. This is how I journal. So I decided to keep it all in this video for you. And now I'm using my Barely Arts glue. I'm going to paste this whole thing down. And then guys, this page will be done. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me over on Instagram at Wonderfully Made Handcrafting. I hope you have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.